just felt stuck before? Like, no matter what amount of energy you throw at something, the wall just never falters for you? That you try what you can and it feels like no progress has been made at all? Well, that's what it feels like being a creator stuck at 1,000, if you ask me. Hey guys, it's Truss. Welcome to this month's update video about me working on my art as a webcomic artist. This month I want to talk about a topic that's a very mixed feelings kind of topic for me, and it kind of haunts me and other creators. It's a lovely topic about being able to get to 1K subscribers, but then kind of getting stuck there. So yeah, that's kind of the theme of this video, and we're gonna talk about it. So for some reference, what I'm talking about is when you are a type of creator who tries to post as often as they can and have a nice little following, but you just can't seem to get past that 1K follower count. Both my TikTok and my webcomic are both sadly victims to this problem, and it has been for some time now, and seeing that number bounce back and forth between like the same 10-ish numbers going up or going down and kind of going back and forth, it just kind of creates this feeling of helplessness, and no matter how much effort you put into it, or what you put out there, what trends you follow, or try to do your own thing, it's kind of a mishmash of feelings. And yeah, I just want to talk about it because I know for a fact that I know other people can relate to this feeling, and I just wanted to share my thoughts. But before we get super into things, I'm going to go over what I'm drawing for you lovely folks today. So I wanted to do a little bit of a retouch up on some of my marketing pieces for my webcomic Seeing Demons, which you can read on several platforms such as Tapas and Webtoons, and also Comic Fury now, because Comic Fury is politely hosting the seeingdemons.com URL for me at this current time. I prefer them right now just because they're a little bit more customizable, and the daunting concept of making a website is throwing me for a loop. And looking at a webcomic that currently is just a hobby thing, I didn't really want to end up spending a lot of money into hosting it. So instead, I just kept the domain. I paid for it for the year. And for right now, I put it on Comic Fury, and I'm working on customizing and updating that website to be a little bit more polished because I realized I can add custom pages into it, such as the things I wanted my about and my links and my cast page and an archive for chapters. It's a really neat little state. I didn't really realize you could do that until recently. I never looked that deeply into Comic Fury. I've always been a Webtoons and Tapas kind of girl. So that was really cool to find out. So yeah, if you want to read my webcomic and support me, that would be fantastic. It's free to read. But yeah, so like I said, I wanted to do a bit of a redraw for the icon image for my webcomic, just because, yes, my webcomic tends to flow back and forth between having silly, very fun moments to very oh, what am I looking at here? Truss? Why is there blood? What is happening? Why is there demons? What is going on? Kind of moments like the part we're going to get up soon at the end of the third chapter we're currently in. But we're going to ignore that fact and look at my two lovely boys, Seth and Michael, having a great old time. Seth is never really having a good time, let's be honest. At any promo art, I refuse to let him have a good time. Not to say I don't love my boy Seth. He is my forever existing protagonist, as I like to call him in my head for the first half of this story, because he really is just kind of here reacting to things as everything's being thrown at him. And people who read it will know, I can let you know that it is going to slightly change soon, coming into the fourth chapter. Steffi boy over here is finally going to take a little bit more of a front row seat into his decision making, because I intentionally wrote him as a very mild-mannered and kind of recoiled little awkward guy, because that's what he is. He's spent his whole life just kind of having to learn to protect himself from experiences, so his best way is kind of absorbing information and watching things happen and trying to minimize his reactions to things, because if he overreacts, it causes a scene, and that's never gone well for him in the past. So he's pretty good at just making a face and kind of internalizing his thoughts, unless there's a real danger, like back in chapter 1 when he was being chased. That's a different conversation. He's literally running for his life. He was required to have reaction to that, if you know what I mean. Meanwhile, Michael's having the time of his life, because when is Michael not having the time of his life? Let's be real. That guy is clearly just doing his own thing, just accepted his life choices, even though they were choices, they're kind of thrust upon him. He is the opposing factor to Seth's lack of reaction or action, whereas Michael is all, I'm just gonna do my thing, action, very forward, very just gonna do my own life choices, because he really doesn't get to have many in his limited day-to-day experiences. So he's gonna do what he can. He's gonna take the inch, and he's going to run a mile with it if possible before the leash snaps him and says, no, you're not allowed to do that. But back to the conversation at hand. So like I said, I and many other creators run into this very, very big problem of, we will finally hit that desired 1K subscription and followers from people, and then I will sit there and stare at the wall. Even though our content gets reactions and has a good, like, flow of consistency. Like, I've been very satisfied and happy with the numbers I've been getting out of TikTok in terms of just, like, posting about the boys, because I wasn't sure how that was gonna go. I'm learning to slowly get confident in my own characters. I kind of used my, like, fan characters as that bridge component, but this is me slowly getting into, you know what, I want people to know about my boys. Y'all go on about my boys now. They're just gonna be on my TikTok. They're gonna be on my Blue Sky. They're just here now. Y'all gotta love them. I don't care. Kind of mentality. But yeah, I've always wanted to see myself have the ability to grow my creative works more, to make it more of a predominant focus as someone who works multiple jobs throughout the week, right? So, like, I'm someone who would very much love to see that one of those jobs be curating my creative content, be it my webcomic, my Etsy shop, what have you, right? Links are in the description below, by the way. I'm just saying, if you want to support me, that'd be fantastic. Yeah, like I said, just doing stuff like that, because I really don't want to forever just leave my art to the wayside. And even though I feel like I'm late to the game compared to other people I know, it's better than never, because if you don't try, you never tried at all, and you only live once, if you know what I mean. But yeah, so all I want to say is I just wanted to kind of be like, man, how are people getting out of these ruts? And I am doing my research as I can and seeing how it's like one person will tell you to do one thing and the other person will tell you to do something different, because it works differently for everybody. Sometimes it's like catching lightning in a bottle when it comes to becoming relevant in social media. And it sucks because it's like artists currently are trying to fight this weird too much or not enough kind of vibe of, how much do I turn my art, my skill, my passion, my love for something into a consumable thing before it turns into nothing but like another job that just feels like a 9-to-5. And I've always been wondering about that, and more and more as I look into it, it just feels like some people have just spent years curating the perfect balance for themselves. And I kind of envy that, because it feels like I'm running on like fumes half the time after work. But it truly does kind of speak to the people who have made it this far for themselves, that like they were the people running the 9-to-5 and still coming home and doing a 5-to-9, because the most important thing I do believe in, that what people are saying who are full-time artists, is regardless if you're making money or not with your art, if you want it to become something truly, honestly, become real for you, you have to treat it like a job before it even is a job, before it even is profitable. It is the internship, the training, before you actually get the full-time payment, if you know what I mean. So I just want to be able to just like say those things, because those are what I need to hear. And if I feel like I need to hear those things, I guarantee someone else on this crazy platform probably also want to hear it, because they're also someone who wants to start and wants to begin something, and they're afraid to, because it's intimidating, it's a lot, it's overwhelming even. And I just wanted to say, I can tell you from experience that if you don't start and try, you're never gonna know, right? And I am the type of person who's currently making a webcomic solely because it is a love letter to my former self, to my past self, who never could get herself to do these things. And now I've reached a point in my life where I don't care if I embarrass myself on the internet. It's cool, guys. If I make a fool of myself, that's fine. Everyone usually does it. And you learn to take the punches, okay? You learn to take the failures, you learn to take the scrapes, and you learn to get back up again. And that's all it really matters, honestly, is you get up and you try again. Because you know what? Tomorrow's a new day. Try something new. It's just how I believe people should be running their lives. We are in such a weird climate these days, and the more and more I think about it, the more and more I don't want to go out of this world without finishing something, or at least trying to do something, even if it doesn't work out, right? Like, at least I did something. At least I can say I try. I have something to prove to myself that I at least did something. That is really what the goal is right now for me. Regardless of what Seeing Demons ends up being in the long scheme of things, if it never becomes successful, if it never makes me a profit, that's fine, because I'm not making it solely for that purpose. It would just be a nice convenience if it did, because it would make things so much easier in its completion, right? Because like I said earlier, I'm making this webcomic purely to scratch an itch that is decades old at this point for me. And I was looking back at old pages recently, and I thought about how proud I am of myself that I got past the first 5 pages. Because I will tell you, younger me could not get past the first 5 to 6 pages. Because I redrew them, and I redrew them, and I got stuck. And then I gave up, and I moved on, and I put them in the closet, and I didn't think about them much. And they would hit me now and again every couple of years, and I would do other things and other projects, and I'd be like, wow, I really wish I had made that comic. And now I'm doing that. The fact that I took a year hiatus on accident after Art Fight in 24, and I came back the year following and said, I'm gonna do a little bit of Art Fight on the side for like a little snack, but like, we gotta get back to this webcomic, man. We're not leaving it at the 2 chapters we've made. We literally planned for 6. We can get there. And now I'm almost done chapter 3 at the time of this recording. Like, I'm like probably like 6 pages away from finishing. I've been making some edits to the end of the chapter because I realized in my opinion, my writing is a little rushed because I'm not a really strong writer. So yeah, you know, it's been a blast. But I wish I had the answer for people on how to reach past their 1K subs. But I don't. And I don't really think any other artist on this platform or other platforms really does have the answer. We can all give advice to each other the best we can and be supportive and lovely, strong individuals to each other. But at the end of the day, I just think people just need to try more things they're passionate about. You never know what's going to happen if you don't do it, right? So this is just my words of encouragement to myself, and more importantly also to everyone else who likes to watch my lovely YouTube videos for the fun occasions of just a chuckle. And with that, I'm going to end the video on a lovely plug for myself, because if you don't talk about it, people don't know about it. Obviously, you can follow my YouTube channel, you can like this video, you can subscribe, it's free to do. You can come follow me on Blue Sky, you can follow me on TikTok. You also have my webcomic Seeing Demons, like I said. Links are going to be below on where to find it, or you just go to seeingdemons.com, find it there. And on top of that, my Patreon is changing up its tiers. I am starting a mail club starting in October, and each month is going to have a different sticker. This month's sticker is dedicated to the amazing series of Gachidakuda featuring Rudo, who is the main character. And if you are not reading or watching the series, you are seriously missing out. This is a fantastic new gen anime. I honestly thought I was on the right track reading Kaiju number 8. I lied. Gachidakuda, the style, the vibes, they're there. This series is insane. I am literally starving for more. So please, 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 if you've not read the series or watched it, please go do that for yourselves. You will thank me and thank yourselves for doing it. But with that, I hope you guys have a lovely day, and I'll see you next time. Bye!